Good day, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday reflection for Epiphany Sunday, Year C. The theme of our reflection is Embarking on the Journey of Faith. For we have observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage. Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. The Blind Side is a controversial yet inspiring film that tells the true story of a family who took in a homeless young man and help him reach his full potential. Michael Oher, who grew up in a troubled inner city environment, overcame dire circumstances to become the first-round NFL draft pick for the Baltimore Ravens in 2009. During the fundraising, Sean Tohi, the father, shared that the transformation of his family and Michael began with two simple words. One chilly November morning, when they saw Michael walking along the road in only shorts and a t-shirt, Lig and Tohi said two words that changed their lives. She instructed Sean, her husband, turn around. They drove back, picked up Michael, and welcomed him into their family. This act of kindness initiated a transformative journey for Michael and the Tohi family. It was a call to action. Epiphany encourages us to turn around and embark on a spiritual journey to help us manifest Jesus in the world. The church invites us to arise and shine. Even though the first reading mentions Jerusalem by name, our second reading reminds us that we who are not Jews have benefited from the fulfillment of the promises made to them. How do we experience this salvation and manifest it for the world to see? We must respond to the invitation at baptism and journey spiritually like the wise men who traveled from the east to Jerusalem to encounter Jesus more fully. What stops us from embarking on this spiritual journey? An interesting contrast between the leaders of Jerusalem and the wise men from the east in our gospel reading shows us why it is difficult to embark on this spiritual journey. We suffer from spiritual laziness or sloth. Even after the leaders in Jerusalem read the prophecies and were told about the star, none took the time to go with the Magi to Bethlehem. Even though it was only a few miles south of Jerusalem, the contrast between the spiritual zeal of the wise men and the apathy of the leaders of Jerusalem is apparent. Unlike the Magi, we usually suffer from spiritual inertia. We put ourselves into a spiritual sleep that diverts our attention from responding more fully to the Lord. The church fathers referred to this condition as Arcadia. They even had a list of physical symptoms for this condition, including fatigue and exhaustion, weariness and despair, anxiety and boredom, loss of hope and sadness. It is not a good place to be, but many of us have been there for years. What must we do to get out of this spiritual quagmire? The answer is obvious but difficult to implement. We must take action. Rather than engaging in non-essential, distracting, and unnecessary activities, or doing nothing at all, real action is the capacity to discern what needs to be done and to do it. Lorenzo Scupoli captured this perspective in his book, Spiritual Combat, and I quote, "If you feel that you are overwhelmed by the amount of work before you and by the difficulties involved, do not permit indolence to discourage you. Begin with what demands your immediate attention and do not think of the rest. Be very diligent, for when this is well done, the remainder will follow with much less trouble than you had anticipated." End of quote. Anyone who has acted despite their feelings will agree with him. You begin to enjoy the activity only after you start. The star demanded the attention of the wise men, and they started on their journey, not knowing where it will lead. What is demanding attention in your spiritual life? How long will you put it off? This week I invite you to do the following. A common tradition observed around Epiphany Sunday is the blessing of one's home. To do this, you can use a piece of chalk to write the initials of the wise men and the year 2025. So it will be 20 C plus M plus B plus 25 over the main door of your house. Alternatively, you could bless your home with a New Year's blessing. Secondly, the wise men adored the infant Jesus. To experience and adore Jesus, be attentive at Mass. It will help if you come a little earlier and settle in with some prayers before Mass commences. Have a blessed week.